Please be seated. It's time for a valedictory session. And this time we have none other than Shri Jayesh Ranjan ji, the Principal Secretary of Telangana's Department of Information Technology, Electronics and Communications and Industry and Commerce. In fact, as a distinguished member of the Indian Administrative Service IAS since 1992, Mr. Ranjan has been instrumental in positioning Telangana as a pioneer in adopting and implementing technology in governance. So we're truly delighted to have the august presence of none other than Shri Jayesh Ranjan ji as we deep dive into this valedictory address on enabling India's AVGC revolution, and we'll get that from the Telangana story. Firstly, sir, thank you so much. And can we have a huge round of applause as well? Please help me welcome on stage Shri Jayesh Ranjan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank IMAI for giving us this opportunity. Normally, when events happen in Delhi, states are not invited. There is a fear that Big Brother is watching. The stage should all be with Government of India. So I'm happy that you have taken this opportunity to call a state representative. So I'll tell about what interest we have in the government in Telangana, what kind of initiatives have we launched, and what kind of results have we got, and what is the future for us. So many of you would be aware that Hyderabad is also a very important center for this industry. In Telangana, we call this as the image industry. Typically, the term that is used is AVCG, etc. But we call it as image, which stands for multimedia, animation, gaming, VFX, etc. Extended reality, and so on. So Hyderabad, as all of you would know, is also a very important center. Some of you would have seen the prowess of the local studios, particularly related to VFX. Some of the best grossing movies of recent times, like Bahubali and Pushpa and RRR and all that. Most of the work, in fact, for Bahubali, 100% of the work was done by studios in Hyderabad. So similarly, we have a very thriving gaming ecosystem as well. All put together, there are roughly about 150 companies which are into this sector, employing close to 35,000 people. When Telangana became a new state in 2014, many of you would know this, that earlier this was a part of the combined state of Andhra Pradesh, and in 2014 it became a new state. When it became a new state, we were tasked by our leaders to identify which are the sectors where the government should really focus, the government should really put big ticket investments, put its money where its mouth is. And this was one of the sectors that we identified, that this is a sector which definitely has done well, and with the government's encouragement and putting together that a very comprehensive ecosystem, this sector can further thrive. So way back in 2016, we became possibly the first state in the country to bring out a dedicated policy for this sector. And Mr. Ashish Kulkarni is sitting here. He was one of the persons whom we really looked up at that point in time to give us inputs and suggestions, and the feedback which we got once the policy was introduced was that it was considered to be one of the best policies, in the sense that everything which the industry really looks forward to the government for support, all that was mentioned here. A very clear roadmap was mentioned. Who will take responsibility for what particular aspect was clearly spelled out. Typically, policies are very, what we call as 30,000 feet above the ground kind of documents, without being very specific and things like that, full of what are called as motherhood statements. But if you read our policy, it was very tangible, very concrete, what will be done by whom, etc., etc. The policy cast upon the government few very important responsibilities. So one very important responsibility was to provide high quality infrastructure for this sector. And I'm very happy to share with you that we are doing something which is possibly one of its kind, not just in India, but across the world. We are setting up a 1.6 million square feet facility. In fact, I had asked the organizers if they can show the picture while I speak. Even if it is not there, you can look it up on the internet. We are setting up what is called as the image tower. So many of you would be aware that typically whenever one thinks of Hyderabad, the icon the iconic image of that city is the Char Minar, which of course is a very fascinating monument. There's a very strong history behind it, etc. But we are very confident that once the image tower is up and running, which it will be by the end of 2025, this will replace Charminar as the icon of Hyderabad. That is the way this project has been designed. And whenever you have time, just type image tower Hyderabad, and you will see the pictures of that. And your eyes will pop out. I can guarantee this to you. Last year, in fact, MIPCOM, one of the biggest events, of course, it doesn't focus on gaming as much as it focuses on VFX, animation, etc. But MIPCOM is round the corner. In fact, I'm attending that. It starts in another 5 days or so. And last year, when we had attended MIPCOM, we had carried a replica of this image tower, which we had put outside our Telangana booth. And we had invited lots of real big names, people from Sony, and people from BBC, and those kind of people were invited to our booth. And when they saw this replica of the image tower, they could not believe that, first of all, such a facility is coming up in India, and second, a government is investing in that kind of a facility. So that is something which will be very, very defining. But it's, as I said, it is not just a piece of building. Anyone can spend money, build all kinds of buildings, etc. But what will happen inside that building is far more fascinating. So normally for anyone who is into gaming or VFX or animation, you require lots of facilities for production. So one thing which we are doing is to provide almost 20 kinds of production facilities as shared services. So for example, if you require a virtual production studio, you don't have to invest in it by yourself. It will be available to you as a shared facility. If you want, let us say, a motion capture studio, again, you don't have to invest in it. It will be available as a facility. So 17 such facilities have been planned, and they are going to be a part of this image tower. So one is that we are creating very high quality A-grade space. As I said, huge space, 1.6 million square feet facility. I do wish that by the time I conclude my speech, the picture comes here. You can now, of course, see it on your phone, etc. But seeing it on a bigger canvas is definitely very, very impressive. And if you ever happen to be in Hyderabad, you can actually see it getting constructed. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, you can see it. So imagine a building of this kind right in the heart of Hyderabad. The government has given the costliest real estate of Hyderabad to build this, 1.6 million square feet, only for gaming, animation, and VFX companies. And as I told you, there are lots of common facilities which will be there, which adds to the value of this facility. The other important thing is, again, it is mentioned in our policy, and we have been working on it very, very seriously. When we are inviting the world to come to Hyderabad, become a client or a tenant in this facility, they will also expect talent to be available at the highest level. And typically, the impression that we get by talking to people across the world is that they want the governments and other stakeholders also, not to say that the talent that is available is not very good. I mean, it is very good, but they really feel that a few notches more of effort has to be put to make it really world class. And that is our endeavor. So in this image tower, there is also a space which has been earmarked for setting up a academy or an institution which will train talent required for the gaming industry, VFX industry, animation industry, AR, VR industry, and so on. And we are in discussions with at least 3 top global institutions. As you know, global universities are now permitted to set up campuses in India, and a few universities have already started. Now, no one is focused exclusively on image or AVCG as such, but we are in discussions with 3 of them. So we have not been able to close with anyone so far, but we are very close to concluding the discussions and making them an offer and possibly closing it within maybe another 2-3 months. But once that is announced publicly, all that will also impress you. That will be the first foray of that. It's a North American university. It will be the first foray of that university into anywhere outside their home campus, which is, as I said, in North America. So that is, but while that happens in the future, we have already started working with the existing institutions. There are about 25 institutions of different kinds in the city of Hyderabad, including one state-run university, which also offers programs in game development, etc. And our attempt has been to ensure that the curriculum that they teach is always up to date, and the companies which come and set up their facilities in Hyderabad, we always take feedback from them on what kind of skill sets are they finding it to be missing. And based on the feedback that we get, we always try to get the syllabus revamped and upgraded so that companies don't really feel that something is missing. As I told, we participate in various global events, including MIPCOM, etc. And one of the comments which we hear about India is that while there is talent, there is pipeline, but there is also very high levels of attrition. People are not stable. They move from one company to another company. You just maybe make an offer of, let us say, 1,000 rupees more. Someone will jump there. You give another 2,000. From there, he will jump somewhere else, and so on. So we are also trying to introduce at the local level. I don't know whether the local association of Hyderabad whether they have participated here or not. We have a strong industry association in Hyderabad, which is called TWAGA, TVAGA, Telangana Visual Effects, Animation and Gaming Association. So within TWAGA, we are trying to set this norm. This will be something very unique for any city, that there'll be a gentleman's agreement that no one will, as they use the term, poach. No one will poach employees from one another. I won't throw 1,000 rupees to get someone. He won't throw 5,000 rupees to get someone else. All this business will be stopped. I mean, if you really want someone and that person also wants to move on, the first company has to permit him to move on. I mean, you have to give your consent or your no objection. So lots of discipline will come in the industry, and we are facilitating this. Of course, the industry association is taking that responsibility, but the government is facilitating it. So that is again something which is very important. When we travel abroad or we participate in industry events like this, we also notice one thing, that disruption in this sector is happening at a very, very rapid pace, the gaming sector in particular. And if you look around, who are the people who are disrupting this sector, either by introducing new technologies or new user interface or new kind of engagement, users engagement, etc. You will find that most of this disruption is being done by entrepreneurs, innovators, very young people whom we typically call as startups. And Hyderabad also is an important hub for innovation, for entrepreneurship, for startups. We have a facility which some of you might have heard about. It is called T-Hub. It is considered to be a role model in terms of innovation ecosystem. But many people do not know this, that for almost 6 years now, we have a dedicated innovation center only for the image sector. It is called the Image Accelerator. It has been jointly promoted by Telangana government and Government of India. And I don't have precise data, but I know for sure that in the last 6 years, barring the years which were affected by the pandemic, we have graduated 4 cohorts with almost 20 to 30 companies in each cohort, majority of them being gaming companies. And the last information that I had was that many of them who have completed their journey in that incubator, they have received funding support, their valuations have gone up. Many of them have actually won awards. In fact, one startup won the Prime Minister's Award when this Atmanirbhar campaign was started by Government of India. Gaming sector was also identified as one of the Atmanirbhar segments. And a national prize competition was launched to identify the best homegrown produced game. And I'm again happy to share with you that a Hyderabad-based company called Hit Wicket, it's a cricket-based game, that company won the national award. And there is another Hyderabad-based gaming company which won the best award in the G20 programs. When India was taking over the G20 presidency, there's an event there was a challenge which was hosted in Indonesia from all the G20 countries, and this Indian startup from Hyderabad won this award. And I know that the solutions, the products, the games, etc., which some of the startups have brought out are really very, very fascinating. One other thing which, as I said, we are much ahead of the curve when it comes to promoting and supporting innovation, etc. One other thing which I want to point out, see today when I speak about innovation and disruption, a lot is being done using new generation technologies, particularly artificial intelligence. And just about a month ago, some of you might have caught this information, some of you may not be familiar with it, but one of the largest Indian game publishing company, possibly their representatives are somewhere in this audience, Nazara, they have decided to set up a center of excellence on gaming, AI and gaming in Hyderabad. And we are now working with their local representatives to make it live, possibly within the next 15, 20 days or so. So the first center of excellence, which brings the latest AI tools and solutions and technologies into the world of gaming, being promoted jointly by Telangana government and Nazara, is going to be set up in Hyderabad. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I mean, whatever I have spoken so far, I'm sure gives you a sense that here is one state which is trying to push the boundary. And the last thing which I would like to tell you, that we also support a major industry event which happens in Hyderabad every year. And again, that industry event is just a month away. So this event where we are is the IGC. What event will happen in Hyderabad next month is obviously a notch above. So therefore we call it IGDC. So please do attend all editions of Hyderabad, all editions of IGDC, barring one or two which happened elsewhere, happen in Hyderabad. Hyderabad has become the permanent venue, and we introduce a marketplace also where people who have designed a game can find publishers. Publishers can find people who are working on something. Innovators can showcase what work they are doing. VCs are invited. Just in the previous session, Mr. Bhutia spoke about esports. There is also a parallel along with IGDC, one of the largest esports event which happens in the country that is hosted here, which is called DreamHack. And DreamHack will happen. I mean, it's a 5 days full of energy. We also have this year Comic-Con happening simultaneously for on those 5 days. And of course, there are animation and VFX focused events also during those 5 days, including IGDC, DreamHack, Comic-Con, etc. So the dates for this year's edition in Hyderabad are November 14th to 19th. Registration is actually happening. So please do come over, because you would not have seen an event of this kind. In fact, many years ago, when we took this call to start an event in Hyderabad, people who are from the industry told us to emulate something which happens in China, which is called China Joy. And that is why we gave this name, India Joy. But now many people tell us that it is much, much more than what happens in China Joy. And there are just one or two other events which are of global scale, which are similar to India Joy. So in a matter of 6 years, we have reached a level which is absolutely world-class, absolutely unprecedented. And the government puts lots of money to support that event. Of course, the industry participates, lots of other companies support. I know that Dream 11 is supporting this event. They also support IGDC and India Joy as well. So we remain grateful to all of them. But otherwise also, it's an opportunity for us to really immerse ourselves in the latest trends. Lots of experts come and speak about technology, what are the global opportunities, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things which I wanted to share with you. And if you are a kind of a person who is a part of a gaming startup, or if you are a member of a gaming company, do let folks know about all these opportunities. The image tower, etc., as I told, will be ready by end of 2025. Approximately around April or May of next year, we will open it up for people to apply for space. So, I mean, it will obviously be first come, first serve. So the quicker you are, the more agile you are in looking at this opportunity, because this will be the destination, in my opinion. As I told you, when we showcased this in some of the global events like MIPCOM, amazing amount of interest was generated. People could not believe that such a thing is coming up. So there's lots of excitement about it, and we would always prefer our homegrown companies to take the pride of space there. And of course, the doors are open for all the global companies also. So once again, I'm grateful to IAMAI and all the organizers for giving me a chance to tell about a state's story. And I do hope that some of you will stay connected with us for getting some common business done in the future as well. Thank you very much for inviting me.